nearly left it too long. Hello. Dom's not here. Ken's not here. So it's just Steve and I tonight. So were you expecting anything else? Well, obviously you were, because you wouldn't have known that they weren't going to both be here. Although Dom might have said last week.
I think Dom might have said he was. Where is he? Is he in London?
I don't. No, he sent me a picture in somewhere sunny next to the sea, looking at a 16th century fort. I think he's. I want to say Portugal or something. I don't know. He's he's not here.
He's not here.
Ken's waiting. He thought he wouldn't be waiting, but he's waiting. Bless him. So we do send him all his best. Anyway, you guys have got me and Steve tonight. So welcome to your Plastic Crack Podcast, Season 5, Episode 10, Wargaming Confessions. We're gonna have a giggle tonight. I just noticed I've left my emails open from work. I better close those just in case I accidentally shared the screen. There we go. Excellent. So let's just get all of the usual stuff out of the way. As always, we are sponsored by the lovely people over at Boards and Swords Hobbies. And if you don't know that code by now, then I guess this might be your first time. So if it is your first time, welcome.
Dom can't remember, and he's a member of the podcast.
Dom, that's true, actually. Remember, if you go over to Boards and Swords Hobbies and you put in the code PCP5 while you are checking out, you will get an additional 5% discount off. You're already heavily discounted bits and bobs that are there. And if there's something you want and you don't see it on the store, just give them a message and give them an email, and I'm sure they can sort you out. That's, of course, Boards and Swords. It is the home of CrackCon. There's been a lot of CrackCon planning. Dom and I have been doing things with the gaming tables, and I think essentially we're ready to sort of put the lineup together and put that out as a good mix of games. But we'll discuss that later, which reminds me, we needed to chat to you, Steve, actually, about things, about where you're going to be. But we've got we've got some plans.
I've got nothing planned.
No, we noticed that was the thing. We were going through the thing. Well, hang on a minute, what's Steve doing? So you might end up being on our floater in the nicest possible
nice
way.
One.
That just goes round from table to table. Anyway, of course, welcome to all of you that are watching. We'll have a rundown through the comments in a minute, and of course, if you're watching on the catch up, hello, thank you for taking the time to join us or to watch us back. Anyway, Steve and I are going to do our absolute best to entertain you. We've got a lot of news. We have a lot of viewers' pictures, and yes, we will try very hard not to tangent off too much into the realms of horror films, which we've already been talking about, or into obscure 80s heavy metal. But we promise nothing. Anyway, Steve, how have you been doing? How's your week been since we last met?
Good, busy. Work is so busy at the moment. So yeah, I've been either sleeping, working, or I did a bit of painting last week. But for the most part, yeah, I spent the weekend. I'll get onto a bit, but I spent the weekend painting one thing over this weekend.
I think I just saw this go up on the Facebook group just before.
It was something different. It was something very different. But yeah, it's been good. A few more things on the horizon. But yeah.
I printed this. It's not small. So this is the 28mm version. So you know what Dom was painting up. This is the 28mm version. And this was a hell of a lot easier to print than those little 15mm ones. So I'm currently working on oh god, the lid's not on. No lid down the roof.
That looks fantastic.
It's a really, really nice build. Actually, to be fair, I mean they look great at 15mm, but so many of the details on here that I didn't even notice. But that could have been the rage that I was suffering when I was putting them in the box for Dom. Yeah, so I've got that to work on and a few other bits. Well, let's see who's joined us. Let's see what the weather reports from across the globe.
I had a quick check. There's lots of weather updates.
Yeah. I look like I'm really pale or like I'm half dead. I know what's going on.
That's why I've got to move this light. I go like that. Zombie with this.
There we go. Well, no, if I put it under there, it looks even worse. Talking about horror films. There we go. Hang on. I should just have a tanning light or something. Let's see. Gwyndor, good evening from the wonderfully flooded fens. And aren't they just? We've had a lot of work in the fens recently, and it's not been fun. Broken Dice, hello from Indiana. It's 2:30. How are you doing? Benjamin, how you doing, dude? It is we're from Windy Skies in Denmark, home of the shitty football teams. It's a becalmed Mercia, according to
all right.
He's working on more ruckus tonight. Grant is in here from Essex. Jacos is here. Are you in Berlin?
I think he's in Berlin.
Berlin?
Yeah.
Why where's your PCP t-shirt and your selfie in Berlin? Come on. You know.
Yeah. I think you've been on. That's a contractual thing.
Yeah. You're technically now staff. Granaprigo, how you doing, dude? Bit of sun in Southampton, Ham and Jam, Red Steph, John Salary, History and Dice. How you doing, buddy? Louis Baby, hello, dude. How you doing? Carl Burks, David Baker, Mobile and Hostile, Carazette, Tragianic. It's a wet lake district, isn't that?
It's always.
Isn't that? I don't think I've ever been to a lake district and it's not been misty or raining. Isn't that just its permanent ecosystem?
I used to spend a lot of time there in the early 2000s. I had a few friends up there. Every time I went up there, it rained.
Rich John, how you doing? Martin Hoey, how's it going? Overcast island of Jersey, working on some British Dragoons. Andrew JF Mortzik, how you doing? He's working on Rubicon. We're going to have a chat about Rubicon in a little while. Mark Brooks, Nick Dawson, hi from Bury St Edmunds. It was a nice day in Bury St Edmunds today, wasn't it, Nick? I walked around in just a t-shirt today for about 5 minutes before it got too cold. But
hardcore.
I know. I felt positively summery. Sachiel, how you doing? Bit of a cold East Yorkshire. Mark Riding, Von Ketteringham, how you doing, dude? 64 Landschneck Pike. Isn't that still by Yorkshire Gamer standards like a skirmish block?
Skirmish. Yeah. That's a fight. That's a fight in a pub car.
That's a half block.
Yeah,
that's a half block. Awesome stuff. Mobile and Hostile. Frank's Miniatures from New Zealand. From Netherlands. Sorry, not New Zealand. Daniel Justin from LA. Probably, I'm going to guess it's not misty and cold there. David, how you doing? Friends of General Haig. James P. Wargaming. Oh dear. Lazy Pirate Painting, Neil Oldham, how you doing? Gary Wallace, Cardboard Fortress, Ben M, how you doing? How's Colchester? Marky Sparky, Jimbro McGrath from hello from the dank marches of the Irish Midlands. Richard Hawes, Flank March Miniatures. How you doing? Not sure I've seen him before. If I have,
that's Stefan. He does some awesome 3D sculpting.
Oh, fantastic! We're going to be Steve has just it's been 2 weeks, 2 weeks now, and he's well and truly a convert. Cry Kinesi, how you doing, dude? A bit nippy in the north of Sweden. I believe it. I was in Sweden this time last year, and it was a sprightly -18 or something on the boat that we were staying on.
Lovely stuff.
Steve Harbour, Simon Stokes, Lionheart, Dutch Army Painter, Gary Clark, Ian Wright, Sam Ferguson. It's not done that thing, so I feel like I have to keep going. John McLennan, Dave, Craig Williams, Steve Miller, some dude called Miller, Casper, Medieval Wargamer. How you doing, Nick? Haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? Brian, Grant, and it's hang on, here we go. And Andrew King, Graham Travers, and it's just going to go all the way down. We've got some from New Zealand, and there we go. It's done it. So there we are. Daniel Moreno, how you doing, dude? And then Barry. Hello, good evening from Newfoundland, Canada. That's a new one.
Ooh, that's a new one.
We'll have to add that to the map. If you're in the Facebook group, and remember the link to the Facebook group is down below. And Dom is on holiday at the minute, so if you're not part of the Facebook group and you go down there and join, it's only me and Steve really who are going to see that. So the chances are we're going to let you in no matter what. And if Dom lets you, that means he's technically working while he's on holiday, and then we'll tell his wife. Or he's at least hobbying. So yeah.
He'll be hobbying. He'll have taken at least 5 boxes with him, wouldn't he?
He'll have a new project. He'll have a new project by the time he comes back. He'll go around that fort or whatever it is that he's seen, come back with 6 Hellion books, an Osprey thing, and then a new army by the end of Easter. Oh dear, but what a yes. Anyway, we are going to have a bit of a laugh tonight, and I picked Wargaming Confessions because it's been something we've kind of chatted about on and off. But basically, whether it's gaming, painting, gluing, modeling, or your history research, we want to know what's a confession. What's something that you've told people that's a bit of a porky. We're here. No one will know apart from the 144 people who are watching, and we won't judge you. Mostly. We've got a couple ourselves. It's just have a bit of a giggle. What's the game system that you've told everybody you've tried, but you haven't, just because you really don't like the look of it, but you tell people you have just because you don't want to try it? Because that's my one, and I'll get things started in a little while. Or yeah, have you received a present? Has someone bought you a load of miniatures because they tried to go that extra mile and buy you something you're interested in, and they bought you the wrong army, or they bought you the wrong stuff? I remember Sean telling me a story once. So anything like that, this is what we want to know. So just send them over to us, but we'll keep you going, and I'm sure that that there'll be plenty to keep us going. But we will get things started with Steve. What have you been working on over the last week? I've seen what you've been working on, but I'd like you to explain what you've been working on.
Okay, so yeah, I'll start with the mad thing first. This was basically what I spent my entire weekend painting. And what is that?
I'm going to assume you printed that.
I printed that. Yes, I did.
It looks amazing. What is it?
It's a dread carrion. It's basically a big vulture.
Right. That is ace.
It took 5.5 hours to print.
I mean, do you know what? I would have said that's a long time, but this roof here, hang on, I'll put it over here. This roof took 10.5 hours just because I had to put it, because of the chimney, I had to add extra supports and then put it at a slight angle. So it was about 5,000 layers.
Jeez. This was printed in 2. So the actual bird took 4.5 hours and the base took an hour. But
I just misread that. I genuinely, and we're probably going to get demonetized now. I thought I said, "Who let the terror twats take over again?"
Well,
thank you, James.
Thanks, James, for the compliment. But just to demonstrate how big this thing is, right? That's it next to 2 28mm skeletons.
Do those skeletons have their feet?
Yeah, not in the right place. That's why there's college there. The weird thing is, I printed that at 60% of its normal. I had to reduce it down to 60%.
That is a big. How much?
How much did I pay for that? That was
no. So how much did you reduce it?
Oh, by 40% down to 60%.
I mean, I feel like you let this down, that you should have printed it 100%.
I almost did. And when I came to the slicer, it was done on I've forgotten it. What's my printer? Saturn Mark.
You got an Elegoo 8, haven't you? Elegoo 8 Mark II or something like
that. Yeah, the Saturn one. So when I first put it on the plate, I was like, "Why is that? Its legs were like that. It was like a turkey on Christmas Day." It was just. I thought, how big is this bloody thing?
I'd love you to print off the big one and then on Christmas Day just surreptitiously have that on the table.
It was freaking massive. I thought, oh, what is going on here? So I managed to reduce it down to about 60. I got all of it on the first plate. And then I printed the base later that night. It took about all in about half an hour to cure everything as well, doing individual bits. But it came out about 1,000,000 times better than I was expecting, and it's just huge.
It is real. I mean, that is cool. What are you going to use it for? You say Warlord Javera one?
Yeah, I wanted to include a monster or something big and gnarly in my World of Era 1 Undead Warband. And I've been painting up that Mantic Giant, but thought it didn't really fit with the giant knocking around with the undead. So you can take him like big. I think it might be called a carrion beast or something.
It's very cool.
It's just a vulture that throws stones at people.
But what I really like about that model is that they haven't gone down the really scrawny undead look. I mean, it's got a vulture, but I really like how it's actually got something about it. And how many pieces was it in? Sorry if you already said.
So it's the body, the legs are one piece, the tail, 2 wings, a head, and the base. The base is 2 bits. So the things that his feet are on, and the bottom part is an individual base.
That is so cool. And what did you pay for it? Sorry if you don't mind us
asking. £14.
That's brilliant. And if you add, I mean, how much did you print that in the Soraya resin? Yep. So I mean, what's that probably cost you? Less, what? Maybe 14, 15, maybe 16 quid, maybe if that. I mean,
and it went together really, really easily as well. I was properly chuffed with it. Not something I never thought.
I like mixing it. It looks like his wife's reaction when more figures arrive. See, mine is just when more wargamers arrive. That's the 160 people watching. Hello, thank you very much. Why would anyone need a vulture that big? Why would you not need a vulture that big, dude?
No,
I mean, if you knew one,
it's just a centerpiece to my army. And I was looking at loads of different ones. I was even looking at the undead dragons. So I wanted one of those. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes.
There's some awesome undead.
You look like a mad emu. So you are
this big bird gone wrong. Ed would like to know, who did Steve go to for advice about printing? Well, you think he'd have gone to our resident Wargamer 3D Wargaming. You think he goes to it? No, there's loads of advice out about it. I suggested which resin to buy.
Yeah,
that was my contribution.
The weird thing about it is you learn quite quickly. I mean, I've learned quite quickly on the layers and adding supports, reducing. It is. I mean, people say it is a hobby in itself, and it is, but it's nowhere near as complicated as I initially thought it would be. Because I'm quite a Luddite, and I'm not really a technology person.
No.
I'm quite chuffed. Speaking of 3D printing, I've been working on some more of these 3D breed things as well.
Yeah.
So there's my first squad.
Oh, look at them. They're so cute.
They are. They're lovely.
They are.
Really, really easy to paint these. And look at, they've got like cigarette cartons in their helmet straps. I mean, just so cool. So I finished that. That's my first squad. I completed the HQ team.
That's really cool.
And the fact that those barrels are printed at 15 mil and haven't snapped, it's pure witchcraft.
There is a bit of flex in the Soraya though as well, especially you don't overcook it.
No, yeah. So that's my HQ unit, and then I did a medium mortar team.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that is awesome.
But what you'll notice is, see the guy with the binoculars? He's the same guy.
He's the same guy.
He printed the second one. It's brilliant. So this is the thing, or this is the collection so far.
Now that is ace. That is very, very cool.
All 3D printed, all of it.
You see, what I love about 3D Breed. I mean, I don't know about you. Like I said, you can fit 3D Breed miniatures around anything when you're printing it. So I've got this little tub, and these are full of 3D Breed medievals. So when I have any room on a plate, I just chuck like knights, and then I just put them in here. And then as I'm building up my 15 mil medievals by every now and then, I'll just pick out 5, and just pick out random ones. Or there's a no, he's definitely really not going to come out, is he? Oh, we'll try anyway. Let's see. It might work. I just get like the little knight out just for why not? We'll just paint him up.
I might have to print some of those. They look really nice. The thing as well, people say they are quite cartoony, aren't they? But
yes, but at smaller scales, I feel like it works.
It does, and I don't think it detracts from the figure. I think that it brings them a character of their own. And I just enjoy painting them. Like I said, really, really quick to paint, and just enjoyable. just really, really enjoyable to paint. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been up to. But I'm working on this. It's a 3D printed Huey.
As soon as you say you didn't just get yours and put it through the wash, just put it in the tumble dryer.
3D printed Huey. It's really good. I mean, I think I probably could have cured it a bit more. It's still slightly not as cured as I would expect.
Yeah,
but it's good. It's a nice little addition.
You do have to play around with the curing times because this thing, it's one thing. That's just one piece. So
how long did that take to cure?
I did it for 5 minutes this side, and then I just put it outside in the sun for a little while, and then just because I've got a little UV torch, I could see where there was uncured resin, so I just kind of went around it, it's like picking little pieces off, rather than just it. So, but that was cool. Although I am.
To anyone mentioning about the Huey doors, I can't lose them because they're already attached to the actual helicopter itself.
I do like it. I did like it went straight there.
Already open, so there we go. I mean, it's the actual helicopter was only 2 pieces. Well, 3 pieces, including the skid type things. Yeah, 3 pieces, and I've got the rotor and the back rotor and 2 little dudes I've got to paint to the M60 gunners who sit in the in the compartments.
That's very cool. That is very, very cool. And I mean, have you thought about rules, or are you just looking at the bolt action alternative?
I was going to, but then I was actually telling my mate about this the other night. I don't think bolt action would, for the games I want to play, I don't think bolt action would be appropriate, because I want to be loads and loads of friction in the games. I want to make it difficult for each side rather than just having pins. I want to make it so I'm leaning towards. I know there's a Vietnam chain of commands supplement that's been written.
I mean, something that would be quite cool, and I with those figures, and especially you could just get away with it, I guess, on print HQ. I think you could probably get away with it on a small 2x2. Is you could adapt Operation Squad and because cover is so important in Operation Squad, because if you're in the open, you will die. It's that simple. I've never used vehicles in Operation Squad, but you could adapt it quite easily, because you've got such an extensive list of weapons. You could just, for my sins, you could just tie in, I mean, like an M16 with an assault, or just with a standard assault rifle and stuff like that. That could be quite cool, because you'd only need about 6 guys on a little 2x2 jungle board.
That'd be really cool. Actually, people have been so Andrew and a few others, Force on Force, so the great Vietnam supplement, yes.
Okay.
And Robin, FNG by 2 Hour Wargames.
Okay.
Interesting.
That is yeah.
So
I'll be interested what you do with that.
It's gonna be interesting. So how was your productive week?
So my week was actually quite productive, because things that I've been working on came to an end. I seem to be doing things now rather than weekly, just in batches, because I'm working on multiple projects and they all end in one go. So people know I've been painting up some tanks that Warlord sent over to me for something, basically, which we'll be showcasing soon. But it's been a very long time since I did tanks. Now, I don't know anywhere near as enough about World War II as I should. And when I ask questions, I get a lot of information. So I've just kind of gone with what I think looks cool. Okay. And I have looked at I've looked at photos as reference, and looked at some other bits and bobs. So I've done 2 Panthers. Here is the first one. So I went with it's a winter camo theme with like really chipped whitewash. I really regret putting that commander up there. I didn't enjoy painting him at all. I was so that was fun, but I forgot, or at least maybe I didn't do it previously. I really the weathering of the tank is a lot more fun than the painting of the tank.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And I've got to actually say, taking the photos of the tanks was more fun than the entire painting process. But I did not. I mean, I'm hankering for some livery now. I need some really complicated coat of arms to go and paint. But no, I enjoyed that. I used chipping mediums and streaking grimes and filters and all that kind of stuff, and then different weathering pigments to sort of build up mud and snow effects. But I decided not to add loads of snow over the actual body of the tank and just have it on the tracks and at the front, because I was kind of going, well, the engine will be hot, it'll be moving, so the snow will fall. He's going to be boiling hot inside the tank, and at least if it's moving. So that was the first one, and there's the second one.
Oh, nice.
So I was quite proud of those. I wanted the to have a really warm sort of the winter wash effect on it. So that was a lot of fun. Although there was that moment where I put the chip, because I covered it in gloss varnish, put the chipping medium on, and then I slapped the paint over it, and then there was that moment of panic going, is this going to come off? So I was sitting as long as enough and get some warm water and a toothbrush and just take it off. But yeah, they were a lot of fun to take photos of, not to paint. I actually got a bit stressed out painting this one. I
do agree with you that as much as I like painting tanks, actually, the actual painting, I find I want to get it out of the way as soon as possible, because I want to get to the weathering and making it look beaten up and covered in mud and crap. And the actual painting, I just want to get it done as soon as possible, so I can move on to the cool stuff.
Yeah, well, the cool stuff is kind of what I hopefully I'm doing at the moment. So first of all, here's some pictures of them on my winter setup. So here it is, just rolling around. And then this one, and you can probably notice in the background is another one of those buildings that I've been working on. And this is what I was painting last week when we had the guys on, when we had Don and Rafferty on, and they'll be at Adepticon, won't they? At the moment,
they've set off today. They're on the way to Chicago from out Ohio. Mike put on the Facebook group before, as soon as they set off, it started snowing.
Well, hopefully that picture makes you makes you feel. Where is it? So this is what I was painting up last week while we were on the stream. So this is one of the buildings from Tabletop Workshop. I saw someone ask earlier on where these buildings are from Tabletop Workshop, and I printed off one of these barns and then I hit it with a 4-pound lump hammer.
Good stuff.
Just because in Acton Panzer you need ambush terrain, and while I want to have some complete buildings, I just wanted ones that have been blown up and that as well. And these walls are quite fun and things to print off, because again you can just kind of fit them on the plate and they print without supports.
Oh,
so
nice.
At 28mm they print without supports. At 15mm they definitely needed supports, which is why the Dom when I did them for Dom, it drove me to distraction, drove me crackers. But I decided to do the other one as if it had been burnt out, and so I added those supports across the roof. In fact, hang on, you can see here, this is what I was doing last week. I added the supports across the roof. I've got loads of these little foam bricks from when I did the castle build. I've got loads of them, so I just chucked those in, and then the bits that I smashed off of it I just lay down in there, just so there's looks like fallen masonry, chucked in different coarseness of sand, and then I just threw pigments all over it, sort of black washes here, and then just mixed it all up and just tried to make it look like a horrible burnt mess. But it's quite hard, and it's been a while to actually make something look realistically burnt and not just like you slap back black paint on it. So I spent more time agonizing about how to paint this than I did this. But there it is. That's what it looks like on the table when you've got it there, and I was quite pleased with that.
No, it looks awesome. So
that'll be there. That'll be in the battles, and then of course I've got this to keep it company. to get that. Where is it? That hang on a second.
I can't get over the size of that thing. I really can't.
Where is it? There it is. Oh god. So that barn. Oh, there you go. There they are for a size comparison.
Holy crap.
So Yeah. But that'll take up a good amount about, so you provide some cover for my Panthers, which are hopefully going to win me the day. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So that's what I've been working on. I've also started sticking together more of the Romans because I'd had a little break from doing those. I've got to get on with my cavalry, not least inspired by what's happening at CrackCon. Which I guess we could discuss a little bit later on. 173 people watching. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you.
But we were, and then that goes down to 170 straight away. But I will, we'll have a little bit of a chat about CrackCon. But these buildings, I highly recommend them if you can get hold of them. I know Alex uses them. He uses them obviously in a smaller scale stuff, and Dom has them as well. But I hadn't actually seen any done at 28 yet, but they are great. So let's see what's happening with the chat. Where are we? I can't see the chat. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong bloody tab.
I do that all the time.
I know. Let's have a look. Steve, I saw a great documentary about tanks. It was called Fury. Do you know what? I was watching bits from Fury last week. I just didn't watch the last 20 minutes. I was just watching bits from it, and I was like, I can cope with this. I just didn't watch the last 20 minutes. Steve's dying inside now.
My soul is burning right now.
Have you watched a film called T-34?
No.
Okay, I think you should watch that and then compare it to Fury. I'll find it for you and go and what? Do you know anything about it?
It's not the one. Has Ken seen it?
It's the one where they bounce a shell off a road up on underneath her.
Yeah, I think Ken might have seen it and recommended it at some point. I don't know.
A T-34 kind of does a jump over it.
That's the one. Yes, Ken has. Yes, I found it preposterous. I just did that. The last World War II film I watched was probably Sisu.
That's a great, but that's not meant to. I mean, the tank in that isn't even a World War II tank, but it was amazing, that film. There's a second one coming out. They're going to do the second one. Yeah. They're doing the second one. I've downloaded the first episode of Masters of the Air on Apple to watch. Has anyone watched it? Anyone?
I know that it's been. I've saw quite a few people talking about it on Twitter. People, for the most part, people were very positive about it, saying the characters are genuine. You can, they're not just all Mary Sue's. They're just, the actual genuine people. So no, I mean, I think overall, I think most people were pleasantly surprised at just how good it was.
Okay, all right. I will give it a go then. Daniel Justin, he's with me on here. Thank you for saying that. But yes, we hate painting tanks. Yes, I know they're not right. I know they're not based, and the reason they're not based is so I can take the photos, because it looks weird in a photo when you're setting up like a stage or whatever you want to call it, a stage photo, and there's a base and you've just got to cover it with stuff. So that's the only reason they are not based. Martin loves his Winters and Snow. Yeah, I do at the moment, actually. And to be fair, the main reason I've done them this way is because I'm working on so much snow terrain for the samurai stuff. I just thought, well, it makes sense. Plus, I've never done Winter World War II. In fact, the last World War II stuff I did was some 15mm stuff for the desert. I thought it'd be a bit of a change. Thank you. I do enjoy taking the photos. What else we got here? Do I fancy painting some tanks for you, Ben? No. No. Could you now, Ben, you're a painting machine. You're a little bit like Dom. So I tell you what, I will paint you a World War II tank if you can paint me up 24 Arab cavalry for my crusades, because you flew through yours. I know you did. Robin, I don't care about tanks. That's my first confession. Nah, because I think everyone knew it. It's not really something I need absolution for. With the Panther, could I not have painted it pink? Casper, what happened to my Zulu's War? It's still going. It's just that the thing of the Zulu War project is I paint up a base of Zulus probably every couple of weeks or so. But I'll wait until I've got a whole chunk of stuff done, because with the Zulus, it's very much here's another unit of Zulus. Here's another unit of Zulus, with the exception of the shields. That it's. I want to kind of show off quite a lot. So it's like when I did the naval brigade. I'd like to show off like a whole brigade at a time. So it's still very much on the cards. I just I'm going quite slowly at it. But that's something that I've done. I've taken a leaf out of Steve's book for that one, and that is I've planned the whole project.
Ooh.
For the Zulu Wars. I know exactly how many British units I'm doing. I know exactly what boxes I need, and I know how many Zulus I'm doing. Although that's slightly been thrown up in the air with Wargames Atlantic releasing the 3D printed thing. I need to go and buy that file, but I need to make sure that I've stocked up with ragged staff before I get that Zulu file, because it will just be on repeat. And then I'll have a box of Zulus, much like I've got that little tub of 3D breed things. I'll just have a tub of Zulus that I could just keep on picking miniatures out of. What else have we got in here? Watched all of it, loved it. Watched all. Oh, I shit. Right, okay. We're talking about Masters of the Air. I thought they were talking about T-34. Danny Justin said he's watching it. It's pretty good. Wargaming History said he watched all of it and loved it. Roger said he's watched 9 episodes. Minis with a chance of history. I love that. It's not Band of Brothers, but it's really good. It's anything though, but then I remember when the Pacific came out, people they were quite down on the Pacific. But I really like it. I think it's aged very well.
I've not watched it, but I've actually years ago. My best mate bought me the box set for my birthday, and I've never got around to watch it. I remember very little about the Pacific. So it might be. The thing is, though, if I know what will happen if I watch that, I will go straight over there towards where my bolt action US Marines are, and I will want to repaint and rebase them all. And I'm not.
Yeah.
Prepared. I'm not prepared to do that. There's loads of them.
No. John says Masters of the Air is brilliant. Don't make the mistake of expecting Band of Brothers with wings. Okay, that's cool. Al Murray and James Holland highly recommend the American bomber thing.
Right, that's its official name now. Bomber thing.
Middies with a chance of history. They're not based because tanks go on a 6x4 base called a table. Ooh. What else have we got there? Oh no, he actually agreed to it. Oh dear. What tank do you want me to paint? What tank do you put? Just as long as it doesn't have to be neat, I could do it. As long as you don't mind weathering pigment slapped all over it and stuff, then maybe. Yeah. Oh, okay, we'll have a chat. Let's see. Are there any more Rangers Shadow Team videos in the making? Right. So I was talking to Miller about this. So I forgot to edit the game that we had at Christmas. So I'm 3 months behind. We've had the next game and I've had it unedited for 3 months. So it's the lost game, but it's the first game in the new set of scenarios. That vulture thing would be brilliant. In fact, we needed a vulture in the last game. And so I'm going to have to put a little disclaimer at the start of the video because I think Miller and Matt are both wearing Christmas jumpers in it.
Oh,
but again, and that's snowy as well. We did a snowy one for that as well. So yes, we shall. I will get that edited and up. I did actually just kind of forget about it. Yeah. Will I be doing a Dead Man's Hand version 2? How to play? I haven't got any plans to do that. I haven't even got the new rulebook, to be fair. I will, because I stupidly didn't back the Kickstarter, but I will be purchasing the rulebooks. I've just got so much stuff for Dead Man's Hand. I don't need any more. Steve, you're going to be picking it up, the new version?
Yes, I think so. I didn't back the Kickstarter, but I do like the idea of. I mean, I've seen people posting because there's arrived today. I know Lee from Battle Bunker, his arrived today, and it looks absolutely stonking. And as I've said before, those plastic gunfighter sets are some of the nicest plastic figures you will ever work on. They're so nice. They really are nice.
Ben's put his order in for me. The KV2.
Oh, right.
KV2. If I could use the winter stuff on it, then absolutely. Right. So let's have a chat. The confessional is open. We are here to listen to your wargaming confessions. You'll feel better if you unburden yourself.
Yes.
So shall I start? Shall I get things rolling?
Are you gonna use your? I can't wait. I can't wait.
So I confess I've never played General Dame. And the reason is, I tell people I've played General Dame because I had so many people asking me that I got fed up and telling people that I was going to try it. It was just easier to tell them that I did because I had so many comments asking me, "Oh, are you going to play General Dame?" And to begin with, I was like, "Yes." And then I started getting emails and messages, and I thought, I don't have enough time to do all of this. And then I just sort of said in one comment, I played it. I have never played General Dame, and I tell people I have. That's just so they stop asking. It's just so they stop asking.
I think it's going to be difficult to top that one. That would say.
Mark points out, don't we need Brother Ken here? Yeah, I was wondering, can Ken officiate at funerals and wakes? You could do weddings.
You can. I don't know. I think we need to see this contract he's got.
He showed it to it. He showed it. Well, I've seen it. He's got like a little printout certificate, like the kind you get for swimming for your kids, and you stick it on the wall.
I did not. I mean, would you put Ken in charge of a funeral?
If it wasn't mine, yes. Dom's maybe. Dom's. Sorry, Dom. We're not wishing bad things on you. We love you, mate. But like, just because I know that Dom would be raging. So Daniel is an actual priest, so he can absolve you. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
It's great to have a fallback plan, isn't it?
And Red said anyone could officiate a funeral. I suppose that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. Oh well, there we go then.
That took a dark turn, didn't it?
Yeah. It's because we're talking about Ken.
Ken would fall in the hole. Shouldn't laugh.
I know. So yes, there we go. That is that's fine. I tell people I've played General Dame just so they don't ask me to play General Dame. I haven't got anything against it. I just don't have time to like learn. I keep on learning new systems in general. I just said yes. I was happy with Black Powder, which are nothing like General Dame. Black Powder is much more a beer and pretzel kind of thing. Yeah, there we go. There's my confession. Steve, what have you got to get off your chest?
I mentioned this before we came on, right? Mine's not more of a confession. It's more of people who've known me for a prolonged amount of time know that I've got a bit of OCD going on. Things have to be in certain places. Numbers have to be certain values. So I mentioned it before, but you can't have the TV on an odd number. That's just bad. I can't rest if it's on.
So you've never watched anything on ITV?
No, if it happens and I find out, I just feel I can't settle. It's like when I go to bed at night, I've got to put the remote control and an Xbox controller in the same place on the coffee table every night, or I don't feel right. Anyway, how does this transcribe to my wargaming? So, painting. My paints have got to be in a certain place. They've got to be laid out in a certain way.
Right.
So that I know exactly where my paints are. And if I go to, say for example, I want to choose Vallejo Saddle Brown, I can go like that to know where it is. Someone please either leave or go or join. Make it 172 or 170. So now, if I was to reach for that paint and instead of getting Saddle Brown, I brought out Deep Yellow, I would panic because I'd be like, well, where's Saddle Brown? And I would go digging through my paints to find where Saddle Brown was. So I can't paint unless I know that everything is in the right order and paint.
So I've got images of you like arranging your painting desk before, like it's going to be a fancy meal before you sit down to enjoy
Well, no,
it.
because what I do is I get my palettes. I get the 4 or 5 brushes that I normally use. I get them at the pot. I'll put them down. I'll make sure I've got some nice clean water. I've got a nice bit of a kitchen towel. It's got to be my cutting mat's got to be largely empty apart from a palette, my mixing palette type thing. And then I don't start painting until I put music on.
Right. Well, do you play the countdown music that we use?
No. I've got to choose the right music, and if it's not the right music, I have to change it. I have to have the right painting music for that session. It's completely and utterly totally bonkers. It's like when I showed Dom that picture of my painting desk, he said it was too tidy.
I mean, I agree with him. I agree with him wholeheartedly. I think you gave him chest pains when you put that up.
Well, just because there was nothing. I mean, there are bits and pieces now because as you start to paint, things build up over the week. But for the most part, I need it nice and clean, nice and clear. Another thing as well. This is another one. If I'm batch painting, the figures have to stay in the same order from the start to the very end. I won't paint them out of order.
What's the first one that you do? The boots
stays the first one. So if I'm doing 5 bolt action figures, I will build 5 bolt action figures. And the first one that I build is the first one in the painting batch, and it will stay.
Right.
It'll be
painted. That's number 1.
Yeah, and it'll be painted and based. And then the second one will be number 2, 3, 4, 5. And they stay in that order until the very end of the process.
Right. What if you lose it?
I don't. I mean, like I say, I've got 5 here at the moment for these 15mm Vietnam. I started them last week. They've been in the same order since last week. And I just moved them so they never come out in the same order.
Red 76 just wants you to know his desk pictures may trigger you.
No, because I mean, back in the day, I haven't always been like this. Back in the day, I was so untidy. I used to paint in like an 8-inch square, sort of. That I just.
Matt wants to know if you're like Rimmer, where you spend so much time planning your exam revision, you don't have time to revise.
Yeah.
I like a good Red Dwarf reference.
Oh yeah,
Matt,
yeah.
I agree, Steph. I'm doing the same. This is these organised painting here, and then looking at you. I'm just looking at that down here around me. I've got stuff all over the floor.
Don't look under here. Under here is carnage, absolute carnage. This is my storage area under my desk, and it's just a disaster zone. There's just boxes and bits of crap everywhere. Up here, though, it's like a swan. Down here, carnage. Up here, calm. But down there, no.
Oh, there's been some crackers coming through. What I'm going to do, hang on, is just quickly go.
Please tell me there's more people out there like me. That would be nice.
There are definitely people like you. I'd probably say there's more. I think there's probably more people that are akin to Dom. But no, there is a healthy balance. Carl says in just a couple of minutes I've gone from that's very sensible, Steve, to okay, this is bad news. Welcome to the Plastic Crack Podcast. Yes. Steve, Mark wants to know: do you have different mood music for the type of figures you're painting?
Yeah, I remember that time when I was painting landscapes and I was listening to Iron Maiden.
Yes.
I don't know. It was the Death on the Road, the live album from Dortmund.
Yeah.
And for some reason, a great album. But for some reason, once I started painting landscapes, every time I paint them up, I used to put that album on. It's really, really strange.
I see. I've just started listening to audiobooks while I'm painting now. But I find myself kind of sitting back like this, actually, just sort of doing this. Just sort of enjoying the audiobook. Or something will happen in the audiobook, and then I'll get my phone out and I'll start doing the internet hole, the Odyssey, just go, one thing leads to another, and then all of a sudden you're reading about the head of Simon Sudbury, and I'm designing ideas for ruckus scenarios, which I'll come on to a little bit later. Let's see what happens. So, hang on. Well, I don't know why I started this, but Matt was meant to be at do you do Wing Chun?
Wing Chun?
Wing Chun.
Colour me surprised.
2 tiny children, you're here. Well, we thank you to your children. Your yeah, that's our benefit. So please do say thank you to your children. Old school FRP wants us to know he doesn't use 2 thin coats. I think. How many people do? How many people thin their paints? I do. I thin my paints.
I thin my paints.
I'm a paint. My name's Martin, and I am a paint thinner.
I thin my paints.
I thin my paints. What do you think? Does Dom?
No.
I think I don't know.
Or does he?
I think that he uses contrast. So
yeah, whenever I've seen his painting videos, I can see him using contrast straight out the pot, but his off-screen water-based shenanigans are off-screen, so you can't really see what he's up to.
I don't know. I'm gonna. I feel almost like I'll be doing him a disservice if I say no, and then it turns out he does, and he'll get really mad. So I'm going to say no. Let's see what he has to say. David, in terms of confessions, and I strongly suspect I am not alone in this, in not revealing the true extent of my expenditure on the hobby to my long-suffering better half. I've seen quite a few of those so far. Yeah. I believe that's very much the case, and my friend Simon said a long time ago that his biggest fear in life is that he'll pass away and then his wife will sell the figures for what he told her they cost. No, no one passes. I mean, if Haley's watching this now, I print a lot of things at the moment, and I spend more money, I think, on paint than I do on figures now. At the moment, I definitely spend more money on paints and brushes and products than I do on figures.
I think I'm in quite a lucky position because, one, my girlfriend doesn't give a shit what I spend my money on. I've got 0 responsibilities. So I don't care if I spend money. If I had responsibilities, I may be a bit more cautious with what I buy. But I'm in quite a fortunate situation, so yeah, I don't have to justify or hide what I spend.
David's my shape. My shameful gaming confession. I once played 40k just to try and chat up a girl, and not only did I deliberately lose a game I dislike, I totally failed to get off.
Oh my!
Oh, dude.
What a way to spend a day!
Wow. There's stories that we can share. I've got unrelated wargaming confessions that we could talk about. Actually, it's a shame that Ken isn't here because I heard a lot of these on his stag do, but those cannot be repeated because this video is already going to get demonetized and a copyright, not a copyright strike, but a strike against it. So we'll try and keep this one going because this is ace.
Okay, can I throw one out to the audience then?
Yeah, go for it.
Who has ever, when they can't be arsed using snippers, just ripped something off a sprue?
Twist and pull. And then regretted it.
And I instantly regretted it, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The ones that it shields for me because they're usually, especially if you're doing the Warlord Roman ones, they're like this, so you have to do
dead easy, yes.
And then you just look at it, and then you're sitting there with your knife trying to get rid of it because you know that you're going to see that later.
Oh yeah.
And then the transfer is going to catch it or something horrible. I did it with the tank. There were bits of the tank that I've done it. But the thing is with Victrix, you do it, and then because they've got so many pieces on their frames, there'll be that one bit that you didn't realize, and then like the things break. That's mine. That's mine.
Look at Matt. Matt he never uses snippers. He uses a regular Stanley knife for it. If I did that, I'd have no fingers left.
Which Matt? Matt Wright?
No, Matt Mail.
Oh, Matt Mail. Sorry, I'm up in the. I'm starring so many.
Oh, right. Okay.
So many comments. I let me just let me just. Sorry, I've got seen so many of these. This is ace. Barry says audiobooks are a mistake. I put on The Hollow Crown by Dan Jones while I was working on my Wars of Roses project, and now after the first 9 or 10 chapters, I want to start 100 Years War Army. Yes, this is okay. So I'm going to complete tangent. I've been listening to the Dan Jones Essex Dogs, so his fiction books. I highly recommend them. It's essentially sharp in the 100 Years War, but not like the Bernard Cornwell 100 Years War ones. It's about a company of mercenaries, and it's really good. I highly recommend it. I was listening to those while I was painting something, and after we had Mike on to talk about ruckers, and he was talking about scenarios, I've been off on this house, and in Sudbury, which is a town in Suffolk, not too far away from here, there is a church, and in that church is the head, the decapitated, mummified, decaying head of Simon Sudbury, who was the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yes,
who they dragged out of the tower during the Peasants' Revolt, and then cut his head off in allegedly 18 strokes or 8 strokes? Or 8. It took a long time.
What were they using? A rolling pin? 18. You do a quicker job yourself.
I know, they weren't very professional. Well, my day they were peasants.
Angry peasants with dull blades. Never good.
Angry peasants with a rolling pin trying to decapitate Archbishop of Canterbury. Anyway, they bought his head back, and then and his head is in there, and it's been in there. It was in there through the end of 100 Years War and the Wars of Roses. And I just suddenly thought of a scenario which is just called "Bring Me the Head of Simon Sudbury," and some local lords are trying to get in there because it's so revered, this head. And you can go and look this up. Go and look it up on the internet now. You see the head. You can go in there and ask, and they unlock the little hole in the wall where his head is. You can have a look at it, and where you can make a nice little head in a box. And you've got one little band of brigands that are trying to make their way from a church off the board, and they're trying to stop them. And they're basically playing capture the bag or capture the flag with the head of Simon Sudbury. Is that a bit on the nose? I don't know. I
actually think that would be quite amusing.
It was just a name. Bring me the head. I just thought, just bring me the head of Simon Sudbury.
Although hopefully once they've got it and they're trying to make their way off the table, just play the Benny Hill music. I think that would really add to the aesthetic of it.
Yeah. Oh, that would be it. And Friends of General Haig, I thin of it.
I don't understand why you wouldn't thin your paints.
I have a slightly damp brush, but I don't often think paints. All expenditure, and then below him, all expenditure is about £50. No matter what I buy, it's always £50. Nick said, "I'm still in the doghouse for using the wife's talcum powder for snow on the war games table." What do you think I use? But I just don't use what I use. I just go to Savers in Bury and just pick up. They must think that I've got, because I get the Johnson's baby powder stuff. So they must think I smother my children in talc. Right, hang on. I'm going to start some more of these. Let's have a look at a few more of these star comments, because this is ace. Flank March Miniatures that says 3D Breed gets stick for being chunky, but then they release their latest World War II that are closer to true scale, and they get stick for being too thin and delicate. We can't win, and therein is the Wargaming rub.
Exactly.
Just can't please anyone, so why bother trying? Just please, as long as you please yourself and they look good and they're serviceable, who the hell cares? Mortzik says, "Confession, I really can't remember the last time I won a game. I just like to collect paint and play."
Yeah, I've it's been a while.
I can't. I've been losing my first Crusade game. It was the last game that I remember memorably winning, and if he's watching, he's not going to like this. It was when I absolutely hammered Miller. In our last ECW game, where in the first turn, 1/3 of his army walked off the board, and I thought he was going to flip the whole 12-foot wide table over. That's the last game I remember winning. Although the game before that, I just kept on killing all of his brigade commanders. Yeah, like Manchester, the Earl of Essex, they all just started. So, yeah, that's That's a good one. Nick, confession. I tell the wife the figures are at a sale. Oh, here we go. Shakos. James, confession. I think GDA is distinctly average, very old school, and not very innovative, though still a decent game. Soldiers of is for soldiers, as in Soldiers of Napoleon or Soldiers of God or Soldiers of Rome, is for me a better, more innovative and enjoyable game. Interesting. I do want to try Soldiers of Napoleon. I've got it there, but see, that's the weird thing, isn't it? I told everyone, I was like, yeah, no, I've tried GDA. I've got Soldiers of Napoleon there ready to go. Let's just do a couple more, and then it's time for some news. It's already an hour in. Were you expecting that to take off then as you looked at it? You were examining that like you were expecting it to take off.
I just wanted to see what angle the rotor blade would look better at.
Louis, my confession is when I was gaming, I hardly played a single time where I didn't cheat an extra inch of movement or cheating on the dice. I did it all, sir.
That's the type of confession we want.
That's what we want. Absolutely, get it on. I mean, be honest, Steve. Have you ever just nudged your figure just that little bit further on?
I could honestly say I have never cheated at a war game. I've been cheated myself. I can, hand on heart, I can honestly say I've never ever cheated at a war. In fact, I did the opposite one time because it was back in we were playing second edition 40k, and there was a guy and he had an orc army, and by the second turn, I'd killed like 75% of his army, and I genuinely felt bad for him, and so I kept I wanted to give him a bit of encouragement, so I kept rolling my dice behind scenery. I didn't save that. Oh yeah, and so I wanted to make him feel a bit better, but I was just lying about my dice rolls. So that's kind of that's like anti-cheating.
See, I do something similar. So I, for the sake of something cool happening in a war game, have either knowingly fluffed a rule for my own side because I want the cool thing to happen that they're doing, or if it looks like we've spent a long time setting up a game, it doesn't really tend to happen in the ones we film. That is just me being genuinely terrible and the dice rolls be really bad. But if for example we spent a long time like setting it up, and I can think of a specific one when we were playing. I used to play Warhammer Fantasy, and in turn 1, my friend's Vampire Counts General got killed by a cannon on turn 1. So his whole army started falling apart. I sort of went, oh yeah, no, that rule where they fall apart, no, that doesn't count if it happened. I can't remember what bullshit I came up with. So, but I have done things like that.
No, I genuinely felt bad for this dude because it was like he'd spent ages building this orc army. I think it was like his second or third game with it, and you have one of those games where your dice are just hot. I had hot dice for 2 turns and just killed everything. And you could see the look of utter despair in his face. So that's when I started rolling my dice behind scenery. Oh yeah, no, I didn't save any of those. I felt genuinely bad for him.
I've seen this. I'm waiting for Mike's confession about listening to the Spice Girls as his painting music. No, but I did have a confession about my music actually, and I'm sure I'm going to regret this. So I was so perplexed by a song that came on the other day, which is not in anything that I would normally listen to, and I would turn it off really quickly. I ended up listening to the whole song. Then I found out what it was, and I was ashamed of myself.
Oh God. Okay, let's start off with. Let's try and guess it. Was it the Smiths?
No.
Okay. Is it? Let's do like what's that game that Bruce Forsyth? You play your cards right. So are they worse or better than the Smiths?
It's one artist.
One.
It's like a one person. It's not a band.
Oh right. Are they worse? Are they worse than the Smiths?
I would say that generally it probably would be considered worse than the Smiths, but I'd probably not by anyone. But I don't know.
Would I know who they are?
Yeah, you'll have heard of them.
Oh.
You'll have heard of them. They're modern.
Oh, in that case, I probably would. I don't do more. Go on, put us out of our misery.
It was a Miley Cyrus song, the one that they just won the one. I didn't know what it was, and Haley had put on the radio while we were in the room, and normally I'd be like, Alexa, turn this shit off. What is this? Put on, whatever. And it came on, and I didn't know what it was. I was so confused and perplexed, and it got to the end, and I was like, Alexa, that is mine. So I sat there, sort of going, oh. I went away and put on some Slayer.
I was going to say,
genuinely did.
Anything like that, you probably need some Slayer or some Cannibal Corpse just to rebalance. Rebalance the chakras.
It's weird though, because there will just be the odd thing that I'll listen to. Like random bands.
Yeah, Musical Confessions, a song I really love. I mean, I know I like my metal, but when I moved into my old flat years ago, I was the TV on, and this one song kept going on. It was like 4 music or something, and it's a song called "Love Song" by Sarah Bareilles, and it's fantastic. It's a great song. I don't care what anyone thinks. I love it. It's brilliant. It's not Cannibal Corpse, but I still listen to that these days. I absolutely love that song.
Listen, we're getting some stick in it tonight, I tell you. Really? Well, we had to keep it going because Dom isn't here. He's going to be, if he actually watches this back, I can guarantee there's going to be a message in our chat saying we need to have a discussion. Paul wants to know where Dom is. Dom is on holiday. We know not where, but it's sunny and he's by the sea. And Ken is expecting the imminent arrival of his child. So he is not present. So 1 second, what I'm going to do? Look who's turned up. Yorkshire, come on, you got something to confess. There must be a confession. When did you play? You played a game with less than 20 figures, didn't you? Come on.
He once drank a cup of Thai food and enjoyed it.
We did. I've seen it. Well, no, he hasn't. I saw him drink a cup of Thai food and not enjoy it. So what I'm going to quickly do is go down here, and then let's have a look at the what do you lot think of me? Wow. How can I live with myself? I don't know. No, he said no to the skirmish. Isn't it compulsory to listen to the 1812 overture while painting Napoleonics? Yes, it is. Right, let's get into some news. Now, of course, it's as Dom isn't here, who is our news hound, our roving reporter that we send out, rather than just when I'm sitting there in the morning trying to wake up with a cup of coffee. I've gone out and I've managed to find a few things. So let's here we go. There we go. Right. So it's been quite a lot, actually, to be fair. And there's going to be a few things that I've missed out. So if anyone wants to pitch in, just say it. And if people do want to pitch in with news, and you've got a link, just chuck it in the chat, because sometimes people say, "Oh, do you remember this?" and "Do you remember this?" And by the time we've seen that, we haven't got time to go and find it. So if you do think if there's something you want to bring up or chat about, just point it down below, chuck up a link, and then the viewers can see it, and all the people who watch later. So let's start with some GW stuff. Now, I've only found one GW thing. I know there's been other releases, but it's a Necromunda thing, and I did that because of you, Steve. I thought.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think of this?
Oh yes, I saw this. Brilliant. Absolutely love it. That is one of the best things they've made in the past 5 years. It's a fantastic kit. Love it.
Yeah. I like the rat thing. It's a Beastmaster, right?
It's like a Beastmaster, yes. Yeah.
A new version of the Beastmaster. I mean, it's very cool. I do like the rat thing. In fact, I would use that in a lot of other games.
Oh yeah.
But when I saw this sort of come up and it said Beastmaster, I was half expecting it to be a picture of a model of Mark Singer, who was in that film called The Beastmaster, the 19 sword and sorcery one, yeah. where he's got the little the ferrets and the tiger. Did you know there were sequels to that film? Did you know that there's a sequel called Beastmaster 2 where they end up? Yeah, there's a sequel. There's 2 sequels. There's the next sequel. He actually ends up in our world. It goes all meta, and he ends up coming to our world as the Beastmaster.
I consider me completely educated tonight.
I didn't know that. It's all on YouTube. The whole thing's on YouTube, and of course, it is high quality entertainment, and I suggest that you watch it. Right, back on track. Victrix have shown off some of the renders for their for the Islamic infantry. For the Arab infantry, for their upcoming medievals, for sort of crusades and that. So the idea is that these can be used for all the sultanates. You can use the Seljuks. There's loads of different ways to build them, and I really like. They've actually gone with some quite different poses. Like I quite like it that they've got like the bare-chested guys. They've got people who are in much more. They've got some more armored people, even though these are called unarmored. There's bits of, just trappings of armor in there. There's some really nice looking stuff in there. So. Really interested to get my hands on that. See, the thing is, I thought I was approaching the end of my sort of crusade project, but all of this cool stuff that keeps on coming out for exactly the same stuff is really, really quite cool. So that's on the way. I don't think there's actually a release date for these yet, but of course we will keep you informed if we see it and if we hear. Hobday and Hicks. So they've been previewing their metals, and they've previewed the sort of style for the dwarves. Really, really cool. Now, it's just really smart.
They are. I mean, I said it last week, but Paul's a magician, isn't he? I mean, the dude, he's just a magician when it comes to sculpting. Just look at that dwarf there. The one on the left.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
Well, yeah, that's I think the thing on the left is one of the elves, one of their elves.
No, I meant the left on my screen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The guy with the beard and the axe.
The guy with the dwarf, the one that looks like a dwarf.
The one that looks like a dwarf, yes.
Yeah, but very cool. Really nice. I mean, they've put a lot into this, so hopefully we're going to hear a bit more about this, because I think that's going to obviously go to Kickstarter soon.
Oh yeah.
So that would be very cool. Oh, there we go. Now next up, we include this stuff sometimes, and I thought some people might be interested in this. So those of us that like tabletop RPGs, if there's anybody who watches that show, Critical Role, I haven't watched it since the first season, but I know there's a lot of people that do like it. They're producing their own RPG called Daggerheart. So it's not an expansion for D&D. It is its own thing. So if you search for Daggerheart on Google, there's a whole website full of combat examples and how it works and what the history of the game is. So I don't know if that signifies that they're moving away from Wizards of the Coast. They're going to be doing their own thing now. But I thought that was, newsworthy. Back to miniatures, Conquest. The
big game.
All right, I'm just going to put this up on the screen. I mean, I can't remember what the hell it is. It's a Racker. Is it a Rackeresh?
A Rakshara.
A Rakshara. There you go. It's got the different head choices. And just, I mean, that is huge when you actually look at it. I think that's close to, how did they say? I think that's getting on for sort of about 8-9 inches high.
That's got to be a. Oh, look at that!
Very cool. I mean, I showed it to Haley, and she did ask if it was just Tony the Tiger, and he's looking for his son. always rather. But yes, I mean, there will be. I'm going to say it before James or someone else does. It will be a how much moment, but that is a very cool centerpiece.
Matt started at 150.
There we go. Opening bids.
Opening bid of 150 quid.
Yeah, but it is really cool.
Oh, it is.
It is really cool.
That is. It is. I think I would if I would definitely go with the old beastie head there.
How tall is it in vultures? 1.5 vultures tall. But no, that is very. It's very cool. I just I really like the style of it.
No, that's lovely. Really.
Taking things back to a historical setting, I thought you might be interested in these. And this is Wargames Atlantic. Afghan
yes.
So 12 multi-part cavalry models, hard plastic with horses and riders. Could you see yourself picking up some of these? Are you still? Is that project still very much?
Yes,
active?
yes. I've not started the British yet, but I surprised myself because I enjoyed painting those the Afghan warriors. Just a complete joy to paint. Lovely, lovely figures, and I can imagine these are going to be just the same. They look brilliant.
Sorry, that's
how much?
It's obviously a delay in Berlin or wherever it is. He's a little bit behind. Other historicals, North Star have released a look at these. So these are their militia for is it AW? Is it for the AWI? Yes, it is for AWI.
Yeah, looks like.
It can also be used as Minutemen. See, I really like those. I like how chunky the muskets are on their militias. And then there's some British Grenadiers as well. So those are on the way, which is very, very cool for those of us that like muskets and tomahawks and other things of that ilk. AWI, see, that's something else I confess to. I've never had a desire to do the American War of Independence. French Indian War, I'm interested in. American War of Independence.
I think I've mentioned it before. There's a 3-part series from the BBC called Rebels and Redcoats. And every time I watch that, I finish it and I'm like, I want to do an AWI project now. And then it just goes quite quickly. I remember just going back a while, even before I had a YouTube channel. Eccentric Man Ken I think he was working on some AWI, and based on what he was posting on his Facebook group, I ordered a box of that Continental Infantry, and I think I painted 2, and then just massively lost interest straight away. I was like, these, but I like the idea. I mean, I don't know much about the history of it, but I've seen this 3-part documentary, and I can imagine it's on. I mean, I've seen battle reports, and it does look nice on the tabletop. But again, it's something I have a fleeting. As soon as I want to try and do something, I lose interest in it.
Okay. Next up, this weekend you can pre-order the Warhammer, not Warhammer Ancient Battles, the Old World, although technically I suppose that's ancient in our wargaming terms. Anyway, the Old World, they're putting up the Orc boxes to pre-order, and I believe this is the contents of their sort of Orc box. So for those of you who are into the Old World and you're looking to get that nice big nostalgia hit, I think this is going live on Saturday. Don't quote me on that, but I think you'll be able to get hold of them, if not this Saturday, but very soon. And then the last bit of news we've got a picture for. We show up Kickstarters every now and then. Have you heard of a game called Relic Blade? A fantasy game. It always
it rings a bell.
Yeah, there's only one distributor here in the UK, but I did see them at Salute, and they had a lovely little ball going. And it's a fantasy adventure one. They're on Kickstarter at the moment for a new game set in the same universe, and everything is cross-compatible and all that kind of thing. And it is called Cursebreaker. And it's it's basically about roving bands of wizards. They have a very unique magic system in it. It's got a very, very distinct sort of graphic novel feel to it, and that's sort of like their all-in pledge. But the game, people rave about this game. They really do, because you only need like 4 models to play. It does again, and you play it on a 2x2. It is something that I am interested in. I very nearly backed it while I was in the queue at the post office. But unfortunately, I got called forward, and I didn't. So, but those of you who are interested in maybe just a sort of a bit of a small fantasy project, or just something a bit more lighthearted, maybe go check it out. They've got, I think he's done 7 successful Kickstarters now across his range, so maybe something to go and check out. Before we talk about CrackCon and sort of where we're going with that, Steve, before we came online, you were chatting about Rubicon.
Yeah, a weird announcement on their website today.
Can you enlighten us a little bit?
Well, I wasn't really too sure. It just said that they've been working on a project for an unnamed company, and that's about it. And it was just, I don't know. I was talking to my mate about it, and we couldn't work out exactly what was going on. If anyone in the chat can enlighten us, if they know anything about it. It was a weird one. It really was.
We were sort of wondering if they've signed something with some bigger company or IP that meant that they would drop everything. Maybe Disney and stuff. Maybe you're going to get Rubicon ATSTs, something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I say, Kate just came out of the blue. I wouldn't. My mate sent it to me this morning on Messenger, and I was like, a bit of an interest. It'd be interesting to see what the outcome's going to be. You know, have they done like a whole new range? What is it, historical? Is it not historical? Which company is this not company they haven't named? It's going to be interesting. It should be.
Bugger, that was the thing I forgot. Yes, there's the Viking Kickstarter from Futsal put up with the 3 different. So you kind of got like Loki's. There's 3 different warbands, or you can go all in and get lots of really, really nice white melt miniatures. If anyone can, just find that Kickstarter link and drop it down below. That would be ace. There's only 2 of us tonight, so we're going to rope in the community to help us through. But yeah, I don't know. Old School's just pointed something out. Sorry, I'll give it out. That for Relic Blades, it's the author is also the artist, the sculptor, the rules writer, the packages everything. He does it all himself. And if you buy a rule book from him from his website, he actually does his. It does an awesome illustration. He does a unique illustration in the front of each one with your name on it for you. Because if you go on the Facebook page, everyone compares what they've been getting. So is it Ragged Staff? No. Ragged Staff is not in business with Rubicon miniatures, where you get every single plate to stick onto some plate mail armor.
Oh, that's a bit of news as well. So Warlord putting the prices up, yes, in April.
Yeah, I did see that, and then I saw all of the comments that went with it. So I mean, I don't know if anyone's really surprised.
No, I mean, the thing is, though, people have got to make money, and at the end of the day, it's their company. So,
yeah. Mortzik, as far as I understood it, Rubicon's own releases are late because of whatever this is. Shaco wants me to talk about mantic frogs, and frogs. And he said this earlier. Frogs. There's frogs coming from Mantic. So check them out. Now, CrackCon. CrackCon, of course, is hosted at Boards and Swords, who are the awesome people who sponsor this stream. When there's 4 of us normally. Actually, they sponsor us all the time, but we really appreciate it. So if you do want to have a look at any of the stuff that you've seen tonight, then hop over there. And if you can't see it on there, just give Ian and the guys a message, and I'm sure they'll be able to get hold of it for you. And pop in the code PCP5, and you'll get another 5% discount on it. My chair is really creaking tonight.
Yeah, mine's been creaking as well. No one picked up on it.
So I just need some WD-40 in here. So CrackCon, we are very close to announcing all of the games. There has been a lot of what's the right word? Sorting out. Or 2 words behind the scenes. So Dom and I have been through the list of everyone who sent in the game. So thank you very much. We have James. Are you on the beer, dude?
Well, who doesn't like frogs?
Dude, where are you? Well, you're in Berlin, so I hope you're on the beer. We're going through, so I can say that we have a wide variety of games. We have everything. We have ACW, we have Ancients, we have Fantasy. There's a little bit of sci-fi. There's World War II in there, and quite a lot in between. There are some biggies this year with a lot of space. Dom and I are going to be doing one together with the help of some others as well. So we're really looking forward to that. So we'll be putting that list up in the coming sort of couple of weeks, and then we'll be announcing the date that we will release the tickets. Now, don't worry, it's not going to be a case of we're releasing them. You will say, "Oh, we know we're releasing them tomorrow." We will give you plenty of notice of when they will go on sale. So all of those people who don't watch the show live, everyone will know when it goes online, and it probably won't be sort of directly after the show or anything. No, don't quote me on that because Dom's actually in charge of that, and if I've probably buggered it up now. So we'll have all sorts of announcements to make, but it's shaping up to be very good. I think we only have a couple of tables left. I think basically every table is pretty much done. But the system worked really well. We've got some people who are more or less going to be like doing the same things. They're coming together to put on a combined game, and we've had loads of interest and a lot of variety. We've got people putting on demos, so that's going to be very cool as well. Are there any big battles at CrackCon? Yes, there is, and rumor has it that there will be another big naval engagement. Shaco's has said it's Berlin. Beer is cheaper than cola.
I've now got the frog chorus stuck in my head.
James should just go away and just listen to that. Just on the
I wouldn't recommend.
Whoever that's on Facebook, have we heard of a game called Trench Crusade being done by that guy that did More Time? Yes. And if you stick with it with us to the end, when we show up some of the viewers' photos, there's been some awesome work going on for Trench Crusade as well.
Am very interested in this.
I am not surprised in any way. Let's have a look. Should we have a roll back through some more confessions on it? Oh, quick note again. Remember, if you want to join the Facebook group, link is down below. You've got all the links to our YouTube channels and all that. Here's the corporate bit. Feel free to like, subscribe, and dislike or comment away. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much for taking the time to hang out with us. Richard here says all his foundry paints are in a desk drawer in numerical order.
Oh yes,
I can't do that.
Mine are mine are in colour, so it goes blues, greens, greys, and then the yellows, fleshes, more greens, metallics, washes down there, and then the randoms over there.
Mine are all just in a massive clump here. Occasionally, I'll dip the lid of the paint into the paint so I can see what the color is. But no, they're all just over here. I could put one. It's like I've got a Tamiya here that's living next to a contrast paint that's living next to an AK pigment. Then I've got my Dunkelgelb that's just kicking around because obviously I've been using a lot of that. I don't get it. Friendship General, hey, confession. I actually like reading army list books and making up points-based armies. As it turns out, I don't seem to enjoy playing points-based into the armies, but I like making the lists. Is that like creating some kind of like balance? There's some like universal balance going on. I quite like reading army lists. I don't make the armies up, but I like reading the lists.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sachiel says I have a dice. I have a dice jail for poorly rolling dice, which now houses more dice than my actual gaming bag. My missus complains about the amount of new dice appearing in the post. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to have them sort of ground down or anything? Or
that's brilliant. Hopefully, like the Romans used to, every 10th man they used to. Bleh. Imagine
what decimation!
Every 10th dice gets hit with a lump hammer.
Oh yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Trevor says, back in the 90s, my girlfriend asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I said I needed some orcs for my wargaming. Misheard what I said and bought me a torque wrench. Kept the wrench, got rid of the girl. That is awesome. That is ace. That is ace. White Stag. John, hey, I'm with you, Steve, on the TV volume. I also can't bring myself to go to bed at any time other than the hour or half past the hour. For if it's example, if it's 11:31, that's ace. I've never. No one's ever kind of brought that up. I'm going to try that.
So if I'm the same as James. So if I look at my phone and it's say 6:57, there's no way I'm getting up at 6:57. It's got to be 7. I'm not getting up at 6:57. I get an extra 3 minutes in bed.
Does anyone ever set their alarm for like does anyone ever set their alarm for like 10:37, or is it always 10:25? Is it always multiples of the 5? Does anyone ever set their alarm for
No, I wouldn't
You
be
know,
able to sleep.
I like Paul's. Paul's Wargaming confession. I enjoy DBA. that sort of gust of wind you suddenly felt in Mercia was Dom, like just shouting from across Europe. Ben, his Wargaming. I've given up on edge highlighting.
I never started it.
I edge highlight. I edge highlight. I didn't on the tank because I figured it was going to be covered in grot and whitewash. But like on this roof, I ran an edge highlight down your there just quickly, just with the dry brush color. I just then put a little bit on a brush on the side of the brush and just run it straight down there. I just do feel weird now. I thought this was going to be therapeutic, but now it's just making me.
You at 10 o'clock when we finish, everyone's going to go off a gibbering wreck.
And they're going to write a list. Dom's going to come back next week and be, so what happened then? David, I sometimes find a mold line or a flash on a figure after I finish painting it, and I don't bother scraping the paint off or stripping the model back to rectify it. I do that. I put shields in front of them, or if it's lower down the body, some mud gets splattered.
Yeah, mud. Mud is brilliant.
Big tufts. Big tuft is always good. Has you ever done that thing where you thought there was a mold line and you've taken off like someone's nose or something like that? So I did that. If you look at one of my Waters of Roses video, and I just this is horrible, but I just basically painted them like they were horribly disfigured. And they'd just been hit with like an axe. It worked. I've turned people into casualty figures before because things have gone wrong. What's Lazy Pirate Painting says, I have a wet palette. That should just be it, shouldn't it? Which I started using properly, but just couldn't be bothered with after a while. So now I just use it as a normal. It's just a plastic tray.
That's brilliant.
That's that. That's the insult. Red Steph, my 28mm Republican Roman army is a result of careful research into all scales and manufacturers, not the first stand when I got back into sleep after spending all afternoon in the box. I'm looking forward to sleep this year. Matt, I went to see that mummified Sudbury head on my honeymoon. Let it never be said that I'm not a romantic. The first film I took Haley to see when we were dating right at the start was Hannibal Rising, which
awesome
isn't even and we went for a meal as well, which doesn't really seem like the right kind of film to watch if you're going to go to a meal. I
remember years ago my first date with was a woman years ago, and she compared me to Mark from Peep Show. Because I somehow might have, I don't know how, but I ended up talking about Blitzkrieg on a first date, and then she compared me to Mark from Peep Show. So
could be worse.
Could be worse.
Camberwell Johnny, how you doing? I once told my girlfriend I was late to hers due to being tired from a night shift. Little did she know I went on a diversion to buy paint. She felt bad for me and ran around looking after me all weekend.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I'd like to think that out of all these confessionals where it's things to do with, our other halves and our partners, that somewhere that other, for whatever reason, looks back and just goes, the bastard. Robin, let's see what things Robin does. The silly thing I do is use brushes way past their lifespan because I'm concerned that using a new brush will mean that I suddenly can't paint the same.
Is that when your triple naught gets down to like two single hairs? Like, it's just a knob of a brush.
Yeah. You get to mine is with the dry brush because I use the makeup brushes like you guys, and I will not accept that they are past their life, even though they're dirt cheap. I just will not accept, that they are.
I was using one earlier, and all the brush. I think I've lost about half the bristles, but it's still being used. Still does the job. Still does the job.
Absolutely. Lionheart. Has anyone ever gotten a gift from a family member to find out that you have the miniatures or don't collect them? Yes. Then sold them to buy something you want and not told the person? Because I have. Yes, I got given some Warriors of Chaos. And it was a very thoughtful gift. But someone just went into Games Workshop and basically they were like, what? But my, Martin, I'm not going to say because there is actually an outside chance they'll watch this, I guess. Martin likes these. And this GW person went, this person, Martin, will definitely like Warriors of Chaos. This was, when I was painting up Napoleonic things. So I got those. I painted them, sold them, and I bought, do you know what I bought with them? I bought those hussars that drove me crackers.
Karma's a bad thing.
Genuinely, that's what I got with
karma.
What about you, Steve? You ever been? Has anyone ever just gone? You're a war gamer. Here's some Space Marines, or here's some.
No, for me it's war DVDs.
Right.
So back in the day when people had just long past given up buying me anything that they couldn't think of anything. They're like, Steve, he likes war, doesn't he? And he's got me. I've got multiple versions of like the Battle of Tobruk. No, there's no war documentaries. Yeah. I've got loads of them. Absolutely, but I'm too nice to say, oh bloody hell, not again. So yeah, loads of them. That seems to be a common theme.
I got given a lot of old like fantasy books, like Fighting EU, like D&D, but novels. Yeah. I just got given loads. But what always used to really bug me, and it sounds so ungrateful, was that they were sort of like book 3 of 15 or book were like 2 of 5, and it was like, right, that's great. Now I'm gonna I really appreciate it. Tried reading it. No, now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Casper, my confession. I've had to be careful what films I watch, as I'll be buying figures almost immediately after watching the film. I mean, I think that's something that a lot of people here can definitely feel you on there. Oh God, Miller. You're telling me, Martin, the last game you won, it needed my incompetence. I wouldn't say it needed your incompetence, but that was a nice seasoning on top of it that just made the whole thing that little bit nicer. Essentially, I did feel really bad, dude. We need to have another ECW game. That is on the cards. John, I can honestly say I've never cheated in a game, even when I had the chance. I've even played in international tournaments, but never felt that winning was more important than interaction. Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you. I played against Ken, and I can definitely say that winning is more important to him than the interaction when we were playing in that massive 2-hour battle report I've got. If you look at I swear you can see him inching those battalions a little bit further up the hill. It didn't matter because he rolled so badly that they didn't do anything, but they were inching their way up the hill. Daniel, my confession is that I host big gaming events at my church, but I tell the janitor that they're church events, so it was set. I can't. That's amazing. I feel like it's a lot. You see, we're unburdening.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a cleansing of the soul going on here.
This is amazing. I'm so glad we did this. That might be my favourite one so far. Actually, that's like something from a sitcom. RPHE, hello. The opposite of cheating, my confession is I rarely totally understand or remember most of the rules I play during games. And I'm totally reliant on my opponents not guessing. Integrity. Wargaming history. Confession, I have over 400 Perry AWI waiting pain. I think everyone, even Steve's got a big pile of Perry stuff because he buys them and then turnips them, but they're there.
They are there.
I can see from where I'm sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes of Perry stuff that are untouched at the moment. Zulus, British infantry, Wars of Roses light cavalry. What the hell are those? Oh, English Army 100 Years War and 2 boxes of Napoleonic French that I've now had for about 3 years.
Here's a confession. There's something that's in my stash down there. It's a box of 1/72nd scale Napoleonic British.
Right.
And I for the love of me, I bought them on the Thursday, had them delivered on the Friday, finished work early, as I normally do on a Friday, sat down to paint them. I started painting one. I thought, what the hell am I doing? And I put them back in the box, and they've never been seen since. It was like my brain glitched. And I wasn't thinking for 24 hours, and I found myself painting 1/72nd scale Napoleonics.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah,
one of those moments where you just sit there the next day and look back at it and go, "What on earth was I doing?"
Yeah. Also, file under Fury.
File under Alid. Evening, turning up late as I've been playing the Men Who Would Be Kings down the club. I managed to recreate the retreat from Kabul with my British colonials. Awesome stuff.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thanks, dude. Sorry if I picked that one up a little bit. I think I didn't mean to start that. I meant to actually bring it up on the screen. But thank you for dropping in. Robin, this may be a confession too far. For the last 2 months, a chunk of my hobby time has been starting a model railway. I don't know if I believe you. I kind of feel like you're gaslighting. I can't tell. Is that true? Is it for World War II? So we can. Yeah. Is that why you haven't finished that bloody desert river? So we can get our next Crusade game in. Mark, I've got to pull all my figures. I've got to put all my figures back in the box in the right order with a command and sergeants in the right places, so my mates move them around to wind me up. I did do that, and then I think after one of the games with Haley, she helped me pack up and just didn't care and put them in, and now I've never bothered sorting them out again. What about you, Steve? Is that something you do?
No, but my mate, who I play with bolt action regularly with, he puts them back in the same order. But whenever we're playing bolt action, he records every action that unit does. He writes it down. He writes it down. So if they during the course of the game, they take out 5 figures. He writes down this unit here, 5 figures, and he does.
Like Rimmer.
Yes, like Rimmer.
There is a lot of Arnold Rimmer coming out of here tonight, isn't there? There's a little bit of Rimmer.
To be fair, when he gets involved in the project, he doesn't do things sort of half-arsed. So he's developed medals and unit citations and unit bravery awards, and the units build up a character as he's playing his games.
Yeah, that's cool. That's...
So he's put a lot of effort into it, but I don't do that. Yeah,
I do it if it's part of the game. But yeah, I've never painted sort of kill rings on my.
No, I've never done.
I've
never done that.
What else have we got in here? Dux Brit, how you doing, dude? Any new figures coming through the door are classified by me as just a few samples. Unfortunately, the wife has cottoned on to this excuse now. See, I use that from time to time. I said, these are just a few samples, and then I think I tried it with GW, and she was like, "That blatantly isn't Games Workshop's around the corner." You've just been in. Shaco's. I just watched Last of the Mohicans last night in the early hours in German. It was an experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That sounds like fun. We're getting to the end of them here. Matt Wright. I have a confession. I don't always like perimetals. That blasphemy. That's like strike 2 for Dom. He's going to fly back on the next one. Out comes the rolling pin. Decapitation by rolling pin. That's the PCP way. And John, my confession, I've been known to buy into a new project, then put it to one side for a while, then sell the whole thing without even touching it. Have you told anyone? I think it would be even better if you bought something, like really got into it, put it to one side, sold it, and then just not tell anyone. Like nothing happens. The only person that knows is the person who looks after your bank account. That's it. It was like it was a non-event. Fantastic. Well, thank you very, very much for that. I've really enjoyed that, and that's also made me feel slightly better about my myself and my confessions. I think I think Daniel Justice's got to take the thing there.
Oh yeah, he wins.
Managers
Hands
set up.
down.
Set up the games. That is amazing. Bravo. I think that was brilliant. It's getting on for that time. Should we have a look at some of the viewer pictures?
I think we should.
There, as always, there has been a cracking amount of photos over there. Now, just a couple of things before we get started, because there was loads of stuff over the last week. If it's part of the OPC, I haven't necessarily saved it. So because we show those all off in one go, there are a couple which are from the OPC, which I didn't realize at the time, and when they're saved, they're not. So if I haven't shown your figure off and it was tagged as part of the OPC, it's because it will get shown off when we do the OPC roundup. If I've accidentally shown yours and it's got the OPC tag, it will probably get shown off again, and that's just down to my incompetence. So let's kick things off. As always, thank you so much for posting these. The breadth of all the projects that people are working on is really inspiring and really unhelpful when you're trying to stick to one thing.
It is.
I mean, that this Trench Crusade thing, I am interested in it as well. But let's get going. Let's kick things off with Blacks, who's been working on Doctor Who. How cool is that? I don't know a lot about Doctor Who, but they're Cybermen, right?
I think so.
Right. They are very cool though. And they do look awesome. And is this a Warlord game, Doctor Who?
Yeah, they've still got the license for it. There's a BBC license they've got.
That's mad. That's so cool. Very cool though. Carl eagerly
yes.
The next episode he can play some Dead Man's Hand. So very nice. I always like it. You can't beat a sort of in-game shot down that long road, in a Western, can you? Down the street. With the
that looks awesome. Really, really top stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Aaron. See, Ken's not here, and he'd love this. He's working on original Hero Quest.
Oh, look at that! Oh,
that is so cool.
That takes me right back. Jeez, that's wow. Nostalgia central right there.
So John, hang on, right? It's a touch screen, so you don't have to pay for it. Essentially, yes. In fact, that's what my entire hobby is for. That is really cool.
Oh, that is.
I'm still waiting. By the way, do everyone remember when Ken said he'd have all of Hero Quest painted so we could play it at the next CrackCon after the one he won it at?
I remember that.
Yeah. I think
there should be a tumbleweed going across the screen.
I was going to say, Ken's got his paper soldiers. Assuming he's painted up a lot of it though, hasn't he? So I heard that Ken's going to put Hero Quest on in the Tudor Bar the night before.
Oh yes, how thematic!
I heard that we'll be sitting in front of that roaring fire in Derby, and Ken will be putting on Hero Quest. We're going to remember this 2 weeks before we're there.
Can I nominate that Ken dresses as Treyguard from Nightmare just to
all the good memories of Nightmare, then I might watch it again and then realise how bad it was. Alid was playing some sharp practice. So as I was saying before, if you guys take photos of your games, post up pictures of games. We do love seeing them. Pop them up. It's always cool. Just like seeing the setup, but that is very cool. He's put up loads of photos of his sharp practice games, so go over and take a look. But thank you very much. Now this model, the next one, I thought was awesome. So this is a Spectre miniature, and this is the dude from John Wick. Or sorry, this is the dude not from John Wick, right? The dude not from John Wick. This is not the Marquis from the latest John
it's
Wick.
not. It definitely isn't.
But lovely work. Really nice figure. Very, very cool. Have you seen the miniatures they're releasing at the minute? Spectre.
I'm really interested in playing that. I just think it looks, and I know Travis has done videos about it, and it just looks really, really interesting.
I quite like the near future.
Yeah, it's not
side of it more.
It's not pew laser guns and jump packs and things like that.
No, but it's also far enough removed from reality.
Yes.
So it's very Metal Gear Solid, basically, which I really like. So that awesome work, Chris. Pop up some more Spectre. I mean, this next one, Christopher. How cool is that? Stunning work. I mean, we've had everything. We've had Doctor Who, Cowboys, Orcs. We've had Mons, and now we're into Napoleonics. I mean, that is fantastic. I mean, what I love about it's just so crisp. The colors.
Yeah, I think. I mean, no matter what he paints, his painting is just crisp and clean and just. I mean, look at that. Look at the animal print. I mean, look at it. It's.
I know. So cool. Really, really, really nice. Matt's just said it's safer to put Hero Quest next to a Roaring Fire than to these paper soldiers. I'd still quite like to see what would happen. Really nice stuff. Very cool. Duncan, lots of Kings of War stuff coming up.
Oh yes,
actually, he seems to be really. Are you still interested in doing Kings of War?
I'm still working through my 10mm orc army for Kings of War. I seem to be painting really small stuff at the moment. But yeah, definitely interested.
With the exception of the huge which you even scaled down though. You did scale it down. You did scale it down.
But yeah, I'm interested in Kings of War. I think it looks like I've never played it.
It's very cool.
I know. And Andy from the Hobby Support Group very, very kindly sent me a copy of the rule book. So I've been reading through that, and yeah, very interested in playing it.
It's very cool. Casper, this is his display board for his poster. These are Italians, I think.
I think the Alpini.
Yeah. That's really nice. I've never done a display board. I mean, it's on a tray. Have you ever done a display board like that for an army?
Not. I did, but then I got really annoyed with it and just didn't use it. It was for a local painting competition, and in the end, I got so annoyed I didn't even bother entering because of the display board. But that's a million.
I think there is. I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure there is an Ian McShane toy. Ian McShane model.
Definitely not Winston. Yeah,
definitely not. Gary, he played an awesome looking Wars of the Roses game. Really nice. I love medieval. Like everyone had when they set up medievals, most of the time there's always like a little hamlet or a village on it, and this just looks so cool. Mixture of buildings from foregrounds, Sarissa, and some scratch built ones as well. So really nice stuff. And I just like the guys behind the hedge. Really cool. Very nice. Gaza working on Star Wars Legion. How cool are those?
Look at those highlights, man. Just look
Speaking of edge highlighting.
That is wow.
Really cool.
Oh, super impressed with those, mate. Really, really impressed.
They are very, very nice. Next up, Mark Taylor. This is his so this is his command base. So for his Landsknecks, for never mind the billhooks, but as you can see, they come out of there. So he also uses them in Ruckus as a mercenary band as well. So if you're in the Ruckus group, you'll see these guys running around as well. So
fantastic.
Yeah, really, really nice, really cool. Loads of characters to that. Kerry has been painting up lots of medieval buildings, and there were loads of these, but I just quite like this one. And these are from Printable Scenery, I want to say. Loads of medieval stuff on there. But have a look at the post. There is loads of stuff that they've done for their table. So castle walls, outbuildings, stables, all sorts, and they all look awesome. So really nice to see that. There's quite a lot coming out for the printed buildings. Next up, if you're in the group, you've probably seen there's been obviously quite a lot of samurai going up recently, and Matt Klein has been posting up pictures of his samurai armies, and he's done a battle report as well. But the guy is a machine. These are the Fireforge samurai, and very, very nice they are as well. They're really cool. Look at that. Really nice work, mate. Very nice. Matt Mail sharing pictures from the Barons War
nice.
Event that he was at, and I just really like this one. I just like the guy standing on top of the hill. This is ours. This is our bit. That's your bit. No, really nice. I do need to play Barons War. I do, and I think maybe if this Hobdane Hicks thing, that could be something that maybe tips you. Maybe that's the fantasy game for me, even though there are some fantasy games for me. I don't know. It's another game with an excuse. Owain, some Limbers.
Nice.
Really, really nice. Again, and something else I really like, and Dom was saying the other day how nice it is to have Limbers, but that looks really cool. Really nice work on the horses. And the base. I mean, is it one long base, or has he glued multiple bases?
I think that's
together?
3 stuck. I mean, it could be one long one, but I don't know. I'm going to say 3.
Whichever way you did it, that is really cool.
It should be 4 or 2 because 3 is an evil odd number. So
very. Nathan has been working on things for Nevermind the Billhooks. Now, these are for the 100 Years War part of Billhooks. So this is his company. I believe he said these were for the Earl of Arundel. Really nice.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Just a nice big block of but every time I say a block of stuff, all I can think about is Yorkshire and him saying that's just a skirmish line. But that is very, very cool. Lovely basing as well. Matt, check those out.
Oh, lovely. There's some Fallschirmjäger there. They're Fallschirmjäger, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Lovely. Very
nice. Really nice. Paul Clark. This is what I was talking about. Trench Crusade.
Oh.
Now, that photo, there's so much going on in there that I have questions about. And I kind of wish Dom was here to ask those questions. But that sums it up. I mean, Trench Crusade is essentially
Mordheim. War.
Yeah.
See the big tall dude with a shield?
Yeah.
He reminds me of that chap from Ghostbusters 2.
What, the one in the painting?
The one in the painting.
I can see. That terrified me. That is really, really nice. Fantastic. Take a look at Paul's other photos in the group, and you'll get a really good feel for what Trench Crusade is. Sean, Metal Mercenaries, he's been working on, this is his 7-year war stuff. Now, these are Foundry, I think he said, but Sean's painting is amazing. So it's always a treat when he posts up what he's been working on. Really nice. There's quite a few people now that I know who are into the 7 Years War. So that is really, really nice. What was that? Yorkshire, don't tell Alex about this. He will have a heart attack. What's that?
About Trench Crusade.
Oh, about Trench Crusade. Sorry, I thought there was some kind of confession. Yorkshire was having a confession. Yes, no, we'll definitely have to bring that up. Bring that. Next up, Sean, these are 18 mil Austrians, I believe. Is it Austrians? Yes. I think so. Anyway, really cool. I like seeing some 18 mil. I mean, this is what's so cool about the group. We've gone from weird World War One more time. We've got 7 Years War. We've got Napoleonics, medievals, Star Wars, and then the Ghost from Ghostbusters 2. Sean, we had to give a shout out to Sean for his sterling work. Now, if you go and find his post on the group, he's actually listed off what he's done, and it's something like 23 battalions of Confederates, 22 battalions of Union. Then he lists off all the guns and the limbers, and that is very, very cool.
That's dedication to a project, that.
But I think that's what everyone has in mind, isn't it, when they start one of these projects, is that's what I want to look into the box.
I know.
And so rarely it happens. Paul, working on Bretonians.
Oh, they're crisp. Look at that.
Really, really nice. You see, when I did my Bretonians, I did every single one in a different skin.
Yeah.
And when I've seen these now, I kind of regretted that and wish that I had, back when I had them, done them in a single colour scheme.
They're ace. That red is so nice.
As Sif was out, those were Saxons. So yeah, apologies for that. Saxons, not Austrians. Apologies. I knew I should have put it in the video description, in the picture description. Steve, Ultramarines. Gotta have them on here. Really nice, clean painting. I kind of feel like these are wasted when Ken isn't here to ask him if they're French.
Or Dom to ask him what they are.
I know. we have to just save him up. Steve Evans, more Kings of War mid-game shot with stuff just rushing forward. Now, that archway is actually on the base, isn't it? That's actually part of the base. That's one of the things I like about Kings of War. And Stuart, now Stuart is recovering. He's got a cut. He's got his arms out of action. So
he had a bit of a motorbike mishap.
Yeah. So he's managed to paint this. Now, this is I can't pronounce it. Is it a Myeri? And it's very cool. But he's done that, and I think his arm's in a cast. So well done. That is awesome work. There's still. I had to leave so many out because there just isn't time, and we're pretty much on the hour now. But thank you so much for sending those in, and thank you for hanging out with Steve and I as we try to hold this together. Do you feel unburdened, Steve? After
no, I just think I just get the impression people think I'm a massive weirdo.
Yeah. No, well, that's I love that. Everyone's jumping in now about the Saxons, Austrians without the funny accent. That is really cool. But no, thank you everyone for hanging out with us and joining us tonight. Next week, it's over on Dom's channel, but you don't have me because it's my 40th birthday. And Steve, I don't think you're around.
I might not be, but we'll see. We'll see.
May or may not be.
It
could just be Dom.
It could be Dom.
No, I think he's got some. I believe Dom does have some guests lined up. So next week you're over on Boots on the Table. I will hopefully be having a nice time on my 40th birthday, and I won't miss. John said, cheers, John. He said that we should have the show of our own.
John.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Anyway, remember, go check out Boards and Swords. You can like all the stream and all of that stuff down below. Remember, next week when Dom is on, don't mention the metal intro or any of what we talked about, and we'll actually see if he watches it back. And we will see you guys all again in the next one. So take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all again next week.
See everybody.
So and then we're not here the week after that because it's a bank holiday. So I'll see you in 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
See you later.
Bye.